Alright guys, so it seems like I'm the only one in the booth right now. Race control will eventually work their way up here whenever they figure out who's going to do it. So we're at Gateway this week. It's going to be a 55 lap race. So far looks like we're going to have 13 cars and we are hitting right at the 10-minute mark of when practice will end. Setup is great the first few laps. The tires are a little bit tight, so these cars aren't going to be able to push as hard the first couple laps. But once those tires get a little warmed up, you can push the car a little bit more, and I think the times were improving by about a second. And this isn't including the draft. I ran about 60 laps solo. I never ran in the draft, so I don't know what they do in the draft. But y'all have been seeing what the cars can do, how they move. You've also seen a little bit of lag. Hopefully that'll all subside from race time. So far in this practice, the fastest lap is a 31.506, and the slowest is a 32.363. As I said, how I didn't run a single lap in the draft, my fastest lap was a 32.123. The game says 31.122, but ATVO for some reason seems to add another thousandth onto that. But it looks like the draft definitely does help the speed of this car because it improves it by another half of a second a lap. Run on these cars is right around 18 to 20 laps. First run I did, I got 19 laps. The second run I tried some things a little bit differently. Got an extra lap out of the fuel, not a whole lot. And it'll start sputtering going in. Both times it sputtered going into turn one, so I knew I had to pit. And when I made it to pit, when I got to pit road, I was able to maintain the 45 mile an hour speed limit, albeit very, very poorly, because I'd be slowing down to 40, hit the gas, it would register, hold the gas until it registered, and then it would boost me up about 3 miles an hour, so I had to be careful with that so it didn't speed, just to see how it reacted. I might not talk a whole lot. I can already feel my voice is not acting very well. I can feel it's starting to get a little bit scratchy, so that I don't sound too hoarse. I'm going to probably not talk a whole lot if I don't have any backup in here come race time in 7 minutes. I'm actually going to step away again for a little bit. I'll let y'all continue to enjoy the cars. I need to do real quickly in real life before we get to the race. Alright, I've made it back. I apologize for that for anybody watching. So we have just under 4 minutes remaining in this practice session, and still the fastest time out there is a 31.506. Just for the sake of giving y'all an idea of what it's like out there to run the cars, I'm going to do what I did a few weeks ago at 5.5, because I'm going to run some laps for you guys. I won't be able to cue my mic during this time. Actually, now that I think about it, it's probably too late into the session now. I won't get very many laps. Won't get good quality laps in at this point of the practice session. Yeah, you can tell it's getting to the point where everyone's pulling in, so it's having trouble finding cars to get on board with. I hear a car going around. I wonder why it hasn't switched to him. There we go.
User joined your channel.
Are we live?
Yeah, we go live at 8:50.
Oh, so 8 minutes ago.
Yeah, broadcast always goes live with 10 minutes left in practice.
I didn't realize what time it was. I'm trying to dig a frickin' splinter out of my finger.
Well, there's still time. We still have a little bit of the qualifying to go through as well. Now, I saw Mark join TeamSpeak here. Is he going to be hopping into the race tonight?
As far as I know, yes.
Well, no Tony, though, so I guess we do need one of our usual broadcasters to be down there on the track.
Mark normally runs the Mazdas.
Yeah, so does Tony. I also don't see Sam. This is kind of odd. We're missing some of the veteran drivers. Well, since I noticed you didn't get any laps turned, the way this car is, the first few laps is tight until those tires warm up. It's actually usually about a lap and a half, I think is what it was for me.
I ran a league race here about a year ago, and it was a big draft fest, and that's about how the car was.
Was it with these cars?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I've done tons of laps here in these cars.
Yeah, I ran 60. Oh, hello,
Hey
Mark.
guys.
Aren't you racing?
No, I don't have the track. I was
Oh.
actually trying to get a hold of you to see if you can race control it.
Me? Yeah, I race. I race control normally. I don't have an issue race controlling.
I mean, the only thing I could do is watch it through the stream.
No, you're fine.
I ain't much of a help.
You're fine. I can race control.
Alright, I appreciate it, Tyler.
Yeah, no problem.
Good luck, guys. Have fun.
Yep, see you next time. And my keyboard is blinking, so that is a sign that the practice is almost over.
2 minutes.
Actually,
Still pulling up all
it's
my
just
sim
seconds
racing,
now.
or 2 seconds.
Alright, man.
You know, ATVO is amazing. The one thing it's lacking is the fact that the times in practice aren't displayed properly. It just shows the person's fastest lap and with like dashes, and then everybody
really?
how much slower they are than them, like it's a race.
Are we muted on the stream right now?
No, we're live.
Oh, okay.
I've had it live. I had it hot. The mics have been hot since 10 till, like when I said it was gonna start.
Oh, okay.
And the boring part. But yeah, I ran about 60.
The broadcast, just put it back to practice so they can at least watch something drive around.
I don't want to doing that too often with too quickly with ATVO. It crashes.
Oh.
It works pretty well most of the time, but if I try to hit replay too much, it'll crash.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I ran 60 laps here, and I did it in the first hour, the first half of the practice. Um, and it fuel run 18 to 20 laps. The first run I ran out going into turn 1 on lap 19. It started sputtering. I was able to get all the way back around my pit stall, which was at the very end of pit road, and I was able to keep up to pace, running at least 40 on pit road, and get it up every so often while holding. I'd hit the gas, and it would give me that little burp of speed,
Yeah,
and get it back up to 45.
I'm expecting it to be probably a two-stop race. If we have very little cautions, it'll be a three-stop race though.
No, we can. They can actually make it on 2 stops if we go green all the way, if we happen to. Because
Oh, really? I
yeah,
was hearing 19 laps on a full run.
yeah, it's 55 laps, 19, 38, and then 37. Then 57, which would put us 2 laps past the distance. But they'd have to push it all the way to 19. If they pit any laps earlier, like if they pit at 18, it's going to put them 1 lap short because 18, 36, 54. So they have to go to that 19th lap and do the sputtering if we are
Okay.
green all the way. The good thing about the sputtering, though, it isn't a bad sputter here. It's putt putt, and then back you gain like 10 miles an hour again going around the track. You're able to go another lap if you really wanted to stretch it, but then you'd be completely empty.
Okay, that makes sense. So far in qualifying, we've got David Llewellyn on top with Michael Whitaker, Brandon Graham, Hanover Fist. Actually, that just swapped. I'm just going to stop talking until they stop because they're all moving.
Yeah, at the 5-minute mark, that's where it's supposed to be considered frozen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I ran a 32. The game said 32.122, without ever having the draft as my fastest lap, and they were running in 4 or 5 car packs, 31.5s, 31.6 as their fastest laps. So you're not incredibly slower by yourself, but it does help a whole lot with these cars.
Okay. So I'm using the spectator screen on sim racing apps here. We'll see how this goes.
I've never used that one, so hopefully it gives you all the information you need.
I got a leaderboard. I can click on any driver and see their relative. Yeah, it should be fine. All right, for qualifying, sitting on top right now, we got David Llewellyn, Brandon Graham, Robert Lacavara, Mike Whitaker, Martin Miller, Jormo Ganti, Hanover Fist, Chadwick Pierce II, and Michael Baker. No lap turned at the moment by Jacob Gordon, last week's winner.
Or Mick Woods, Mike Erder, or Johnny Antonucci. They have not turned laps yet either. And just something up. Who was that? Just turned a lap.
And I'm going to do the drivers meeting quick.
Yeah, Johnny just turned a lap. Are you still able to hear me? Because hopefully, I was noticing in practice, Jake was blinking still, like he was on Tuesday.
Yes, he was.
So,
It looks like he's got it figured out. Actually, I have the worst ping in the session right now, so.
that's actually amazing considering I'm streaming.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go do the drivers meeting real quick.
Roger.
All right, so heading into this race, this is really the first big drafting track that we've ran since Charlotte, I believe. Um, who are you picking tonight to take it home?
Man, I'd have to go with either Jake or Llewellyn here. I mean, the veterans. I think they're going to be the ones to get it.
I definitely have to say Jake, being that he's a little bit more aggressive, definitely I think does have a good shot as well. But I think Joe Morganti also has a good chance. He's won a couple races in the IRO 5s this season. And a lot of the tracks we do mainly center around some type of pack racing. So I know Joe's got a lot of experience with that. And my dark horse would probably be Hanover Fist. His more reserved style may come into play if we get a green flag run. I think he's going to be the most consistent car out there for sure.
Well, being the guy who made the setup, we can only hope that would be the fact.
Yeah, that's what you'd hope.
So right there at the end, Jake sneaking in for the front row starting position. So before we get going here, I know we have about 2 minutes, a little bit more than 2 minutes before we get going here and get rolling. I just want to mention next week we will be at Bristol, and then Phoenix and Indy will end the first, I guess, quote unquote season for the Star Mazdas in the Icebreaker Series here. The Pro Mazdas in the Icebreaker Series. I guess it's technically both. So we'll have 2 more short tracks like we've been doing for most of this 10 race season, and then we'll be finishing up at the flagship track for the league at Indianapolis.
Only 2 weeks left already. Wow, that has flown by.
A month. This week, and then 3 more races.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I tuned out there. 3 more races. Hopefully, I'd love to run at Indianapolis, so hopefully I'm able to participate in that race.
I'm in talks with Tony to see if he can broadcast either next week at Bristol or Phoenix, whichever he wants to do. I'm sitting here thinking which one I want to do first, though. But let's get back to Gateway here. We're getting gridded up, as y'all can see. Looks like we're going to have, 13 drivers that'll be starting here, because it's just us 2 that aren't on the list there that won't be out there. So yeah, 13 drivers to start this race. With David Llewellyn and Jake Gordon, 2 ISL, I guess, veterans at this point, are going to be leading them to the green.
Then in the second row, we've got Brandon Graham and Robert Lacavara.
I can't go any further because mine, when it goes to the next session, resets the order.
Oh, 10-4. And then after that, we've got Michael Whitaker and Johnny Antonucci, Martin Miller, Jordan Morganti, Hanover Fist, Chadwick Pierce II, and Michael Baker starting in 11th. It looks like we got Mick Woods, who just gridded. It's got him 14th, but he'll actually be starting 12th once they grid up. Then I believe Mike Erder is actually disconnected, so he will not be starting the race.
And I just saw Llewellyn disappear there. What happened to him?
I did just see Llewellyn. Maybe he's up my screens. I was following him. Yes, it does appear he did a pit start last second.
Interesting. That means it's going to be controlled by Robert Lacavara, who is going to be in 3rd place.
Actually, no, Brandon Graham.
What?
Brandon Graham is the first car in the inside line.
Oh, he must have beaten Lacavara right at the last second.
He must have.
Oh no, it was Jake Gordon that messed it up. That's what it was. Because Jake jumped up to 2nd. Alright, in any case, it shook it up a lot.
We'll have to see how the strategy works out for David Llewellyn. I know he's done pit starts in the past, but with such a short race tonight, really, if he's not able to catch the pack right away, there might be some issues for him.
We come off turn 4, pace car doesn't have its lights on. That means it's only one pace lap. Track's also longer than miles, so that makes sense. It dips down. It's now in their hands on when we go green. Looks like he's waiting the last second and keep an eye on that 50 car.
And Jake Gordon off to a great start. Not just the same thing he did last week. Just gets right out there right away.
Is it just on my end, or are there a few cars blinking?
I see Brandon Graham blinking.
Might want to give him the warning, because he's right beside someone doing that. It's actually made Robert Lacavard back off, realizing that there's a car in front of him that's disappearing. And he has actually... Oh, no, you might want to tell him to park it, because he just blinked right inside of Bob Lacavara. And that was actually pretty scary, because he came back and they were existing in the same space. As we head down to turn 3 here on lap number 2, Bob Lacavara is trying to reel in Jake Gordon to get that lead. And it's really nice seeing Jake have good internet connection. As Lacavara is looking to the inside, going down into turn 1 now that the tires have warmed up a little bit. But will the outside allow Jake to carry the momentum coming off too? Five-car breakaway here at the front of the field. These 5 guys are just taking it away from there. They actually have built a 2.5 gap to 6th place, and then from there it's about another half second back to 7th. As Bob looks to the inside of Jake again, not pushing the issue too hard. Probably could have come off the corner a little bit with a little bit more speed, but he didn't want to push it. If they go 3 wide, we're going to come back. That is Martin Miller in the NVIDIA car looking to the inside of Lacavara. Right now on the inside of Whitaker.
Very rare to see Whitaker mixing it up this early in a race.
Well, if you notice, he's running the outside line, which is what he does almost all the time. He doesn't play aggressive, he just runs the outside line to just keep it clean. And he hit the wall, and we have a wreck.
Caution, caution.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
That was Whitaker. We don't even have to watch that one again. He hit the wall coming off 2 and came down into Martin Miller. And collected the 3rd car in that pack, and I didn't catch who that was.
I'm reviewing it here.
That was Joe Morganti. He was the 3rd car. Cockpit view of Whitaker here. Going down turn 1, you can hear him letting off. He gets on it and he starts to let off when he does. He's drifting, but he can't keep it down because he had Martin Miller on his inside. But he was able to keep it in the high line, so people were able to drive around. So we made it 5 laps before we had the first wreck. Had a few people, of course, pitting. Looks like David Llewellyn went down pit road. In this instance, I would stay out. No, considering it's a third of the run we just ran, they probably just extended it by another couple laps. And you want to get as much out of each fuel stint as possible, so that you don't have to pit more than twice, if possible. With this race being right there at the edge of the window. And while we're under yellow, I'm going to put us in TV3 here, so that way it just watches the whole field go around, and it's kind of hard to see with all the cars on the infield, but here they are coming through 3 and 4, the wide turn of the track. And you can see the 3 guys on pit road, and this is a weird spot for the spotter stand. It's actually in turn 1.
This track definitely does have some odd camera angles. I think it's just due to the egg shape of the circuit.
Well, I was talking to Terry, or as it'll show up on the grid for those watching Hanover Fist, and basically just was like, this is pretty much a different. It's like Darlington, but a little bit different in length, and you start in the other way, and there is a go-kart course on the infield. I did not know, or is that a part of the road course?
There is a road course and a go-kart course. They actually have a very, very popular go-kart club that runs on the infield here. I think it's called the Gateway Motorplex. They actually have some great programs there.
Yeah, that looks like what it is in turns 1 down there in the infield near 1 and 2.
Yep.
And in my in the mics there, we can hear the cars coming out of pit road, probably Whitaker and Miller and Morganti coming off at the same time.
Did all 3 cars have the tow? It's very rare when you see 3 cars having the tow like that.
Well, they were all 3 pretty big hits. They
were very big hits.
I mean, he smacked the wall and brought in that right front tire, which he probably actually could have driven it back around, but he had come back down into Martin, who then he bounced off of and went into Joe. So those impacts pretty much totaled Whitaker's car, and in turn ended up totaling theirs. And it looks like we're at 1 to green. Have they called the 1 to green?
Lights are off on the pace car, so they are 1 to green.
Alright, then we go back to TV2, which seems to be having the best angles for this track. By the way, Wellens pit start, he's in 7th and he is on the lead lap. Well, with it only being a 10 race season, Racer 55, and there not being a postseason, you might lose a little bit of ground. But they're short seasons for a reason. They're mostly just to see who wants
green
to
flag,
join the
green
bigger
flag.
series. And here we go, green again. And where did our leader go? Oh my God! Okay, you gotta do something about that. Who was that?
I will review it.
Was that Brandon Graham? Yeah, he's letting people by. I assume everyone started yelling at him.
Oh, yes.
Also, did Jake Gordon end up losing connection because he is gone?
Yes, Jake did lose his connection. I haven't seen, he hasn't dropped yet, but he has lost full connection. That's why I didn't issue any penalties.
Oh, okay. So we have Ronnie Osmer watching you. If I recall, I think he's won a race in this series. I'm not sure.
Ronnie Osmer has won, yes.
Yeah, because he's in the chat, so he's just saying he hopes he doesn't lose too much. But we still have 3 more races, Ronnie. You got Bristol next week, you got Phoenix the week after that, and then we ended in Indianapolis. So you still have 3 more races. And you're not the only one who's missed a race. I think everyone at this point has missed at least one.
Yeah, I don't think any of these drivers have made a start every single time. Maybe Martin Miller has made a start in every Pro Mazda race. But
he's missed 2, I think.
Has he missed 2?
Yeah, you haven't been present for all of them, so.
That is true.
Here we are 11 laps in, and because of Jake Gordon seeming to lose connection, I'm still not sure if he actually did. Because he was a lap down, and now it's showing him still in the lead laps. I don't know what's going on.
Jake Gordon is running in the ninth position on the tail end of the lead lap, blinking like crazy. So he must have pulled off the racetrack.
Whoa, man.
He's absolutely everywhere.
Look at Bob there. I mean, he is, because of Llewellyn there, he's getting away from everybody, which is benefiting him because he can just kind of coast right now.
And he can arc the corner. Arcing the corner in a track like this, any track that the ISL series on, if you can get up in front and arc the corners, you're going to be better off on your tires and just basically on everything. It's going to benefit you.
Well, one thing I learned running the practice laps just to get a hang of the setup and a feel for it was with the setup we have here, once that fuel tank starts getting lighter, which considering it's only a 1.9 gallon tank, it's not a very big difference, but when the tires have started to wear a little bit after about 16 laps, instead, those last few laps, you can actually you don't have to actually burp the gas going in, and here they are, they've caught up to Bob. Wow. They really used the draft to their advantage with these cars, but he's got that outside line which can carry so much speed off of it in 1 and 2.
And it looks like, I believe that's Hanover Fist running second. I think he got a huge run there and started to lose the front end just a tiny bit and lifted out of it.
Yeah, that would be Terry in the red car, David Llewellyn up there in the blue car as always. For his DHL Express, I believe is what it always is. I think it's got Yahoo on this one though. And then in the green and white, that looks like that's Martin Miller, but he's a lap down. Yeah, he's a lap down. He's in the middle of them. Wow, he is, I'm not going to say a name, but he's pulling a specific driver's move that we normally see on Tuesday and Sunday nights. Might want to warn him not to race too hard when he's a lap down and right with the leaders.
Yeah, look, right now he's minding his P's and Q's and getting it back the hard way. He hasn't cut anybody's nose off or raced them too hard, but he definitely, I think, should relax just a little bit, not get those leaders too upset this early in the race when he might need some friends later.
And by the way, we also have Sam and Alex watching. Sorry, your name's not Alex. It took me a second to remember. 3 wide still going in. Oh, that got tight. Okay, I'm still amazed by how much better these guys run in these cars than they do in the IRO5s or DW12s. It's insane. They get into this little car that only has a little bit more horsepower, a little bit less horsepower, and they're running 3 wide like it's nothing. I mean, we've run cleaner races in these cars, knock on wood, than we have in any of the IRO5 races, minus Autoclub last week. Graham there putting some pressure and pinching down Bob so he could get by him. Ooh, contact. And they're going to be 3 wide going down into turn 1, which I think going into turn 1, 3 wide is a bad idea. So it looks like Martin Miller backed out of that. No, they're maintaining it. Looks like Llewellyn might have backed out, or someone backed out there. Looks like it was Brandon. I'm actually impressed that they went 3 wide as long as they did through 1 and 2.
You can definitely do it as long as everybody kind of, I wouldn't say communicates, but takes the correct body language off the other cars and they know where they're going to go. You can do it, but it's not something I do late or early in the run.
So right now, he's losing it now, but Martin Miller was out front there for a second and had one of his 2 laps back. He's actually trying his best to earn it the hard way. If him and Whitaker can get out, Whitaker, and who else was the other one? Joe can get out there by themselves. 3-car packs tend to be really good, I've noticed. And they could just push away and they could actually probably get their laps back the hard way. And we should be seeing some pit stops soon for the top 8 lead lap, for all the lead lap cars, because they've all been out there for 21 laps.
Have they caught Jake?
I haven't even seen him yet. for me, like I'm looking at ATVO and his stuff keeps disappearing on my screen. And Bob Lacavara is called in. He has gone down pit road. As we switch to David Llewellyn now, so that we stay with the pack. Brandon Graham back up there at the lead. I appreciate that he did adhere to the warning when he was told that he did a bad restart and went back to where he was. That's definitely good sportsmanship on his part. I like that part about it. Definitely like the tenacity though that he tried it to see if he could get away with it. Because it looks like Martin Miller and Mike Whitaker are just cruising right now, hoping they can get a caution to come out while these guys are on pit road so they get the laps back. Maybe even more.
We just had Brandon Graham call his pit. He is our current leader. And Jacob has just said that he is parking it.
Well, with the internet the way it is, that kind of makes sense, and he isn't competing for points in this series. And it looks like did David call pit as well? Because it looks like he's dipping down there as well.
The Hanover Fist is out of fuel in the pack. Hopefully he makes it back around.
He is out of the pack. Which that gives the lead to Johnny Antonucci, who looks like he is sputtering as well. He is sputtering and he has dipped down to the apron in 1 and 2.
So has Hanover Fist. They're both down on the apron. Hopefully they're able to get the car back around. I think they will.
They will. They're on that sputtering, which you can get about another lap out of it. You just can't get it as full throttle. Is there anybody that's back up to speed yet? Because for me, nobody's up to speed that's on the lead lap. Well, I'm going to put us on Mike Whitaker since they're the pack right now. Well, it's just him and... Who's that with him? That's Joe. Yeah, that's Joe. Did Mr. Lacavara pit? Oh, that's right. Yeah, he did. Okay. What happened to Martin? Did he pit a little early?
Let's check here.
It looks like he did pit a couple laps early, because he is showing as being on 0 laps on his fuel.
Martin Miller's just pulling out of the pits right now.
Yep, he had an 8.7 stop, which for these cars seems pretty fast, actually.
For just fuel and topping off, that's probably it. I know you shouldn't be taking tires right now, so...
Yeah, I think tires made it about 15, 17, somewhere between 15 and 17 seconds.
And as of right now, Johnny Antonucci is actually our leader. I'm sure that's going to cycle through.
I'm showing Brandon Graham and David Llewellyn being our leaders.
Okay, then my timing just hasn't updated yet here on the iRace sim. Hanover Fist still sitting in the pit stall.
He might have had some damage because he is sitting at almost 30 seconds on a pit stop.
I'm thinking he accidentally took tires.
I learned that if I tapped the gas, it eventually kicked me out. Yeah, 32.5 second pit stop. He probably did take tires. But he knows the setup better than anybody else, so he probably did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Yep, Brandon Graham, David Llewellyn, Robert Lacavara, Johnny Antonucci, and Michael Whitaker are your leaders right now in the top 5. And we are seeing Whitaker and Morganti. Have they hit yet? Whitaker looks like he's staying out. He's still running at speed, but Morganti went and dipped down pit road because he notices he's probably not going to have a caution right now. And there goes Whitaker. I see his speed dropping now. And look, Llewellyn got into the wall coming off turn 2.
Llewellyn eats the outside wall.
No yellow flag.
Caution is out.
Caution now came out.
And it comes
It
out.
looks like he did the exact same thing that Mike Whitaker did. Just got a little bit too high up on the racetrack, and the wall just sucks you in.
Well, if you do it just wrong, I learned if you do it just wrong, you do make contact with that wall. Thankfully, because I was running solo, I had a little bit more room to maneuver and correct it, so I didn't hit the wall. And I never ran up there in the outside line through 1 and 2. I always ran down near the rumble strip, which with these cars at this track did not mess up the car as much as you'd think. And the pace car there is entering 3 and 4. We shouldn't see a whole lot of pit stops because everybody is at 5 laps or less on their fuel stint. And if they pit now, they'd have to pit again anyway. Maybe we might see people come down, maybe get some tires that are at the back that didn't get tires with the set of fuel, so that they can push the car a little bit more. Some of these tires are worn, and we don't know how long they might be able to last. But we only have 4 cars on the lead lap. Brandon Graham, Robert Lacavara, Johnny Antonucci, and Llewellyn was able to stay on the lead lap, it looks like. Actually, is he in his pit stall yet, or did he limp it around?
He's I'm a couple seconds behind. He's just got to his pit stall.
And looks like we have, yeah, he just now fell a lot down. He's falling backwards.
Yep, and he's now has to wait for the field to pass for the pits to open, it looks like.
Well, we had a wave around, so we're going to go back to, with Mick Woods, so we're going to go back to 4 cars on the lead lap, which is almost an exact mirror of Tuesday night when we only had 1 car on the lead lap, Isaiah Dupree, when the caution came out with, what was it, like 7, 8 to go, something like that. But looking at it now, let's see, we're on lap 2. It looks like Brandon Graham is going to go down pit road this time. Is anybody taking with him? No. Robert Lacavara is staying out. I guess he's pitting because there's so few cars on the lead lap. Which, if you think about it, it's actually a smart move, and it's also letting a few other drivers get on the lead lap, it looks like. Because we have a few wave rounds up there. Can't tell who they all are. One of them looks like Hanover Fist and Terry Adams. Maybe Chadwick Pierce and Michael Baker. Yep, that's who it is. Michael Baker, Chadwick Pierce, and Hanover Fist / Terry Adams are going to be our wave arounds when we hit 1 degree. So at this point, if anybody is pitting anytime within the last 5 laps, which some of them have, they are actually going to be able to make it on just 1 more stop for fuel. They could just go down, take some fuel. I think half a tank they'd probably be able to do, which I don't know how it works with this car. Maybe just take 1 gallon because you can't take tenths of gallons. Just make sure to untick those tires. I'm guessing there's some arguing going on since Tyler here is a little quiet. So I'm going to try to fill in the void as much as possible, but I don't have a whole lot to talk about. Oh, right. I do have one thing. Almost forgot to mention our sponsor. We're sponsored by Robert Tech Jobs. It's Bill Roberts, who, if you've watched our main series, is the number 21 car. He has Midwest jobs for tech jobs in the Midwest. I don't know the full details. If you need any help with anything, just make sure to give him a call or contact him via any ways he has on the website there. Just let him know that we sent you his way. Tony's a lot better at this than I am. Of course, he has a background in this. So here we are, we're lining up. It looks like we have the 1 to green since the cars have been waved around the pace car and the lights are out and they're greening up side by side. So hopefully we have a good stint here and we're able to go another long green flag run before the checker flag falls.
I just want to make a side comment of how small this world can be sometimes. My sister's actually down in Charlotte, North Carolina. She's friends with Justin Haley, one of the truck drivers. And a member of our league, Creighton Carter, actually just bumped into her at a restaurant near the track.
Oh yeah, there's about 3 or 4 different members in the league other than Alex and myself who have been here in Roanoke, where Alex and I are from and live. So it is very interesting. Granted, and here we are, we're going green.
Green flag.
Yeah, you just got to keep in mind the iRacing community is only a few thousand or several thousand right now. It's not a huge community, but it's a highly active community. And that's
very. And Bob Lacavara jumps right back out there.
Yeah, he had the lead when we went green, and look at Johnny back there. He's not giving Brandon the time of day to get behind him down there on that inside, but Martin Miller trying to get back up there and get his last lap back.
Martin Miller will be the lucky dog if we get another caution.
And I'm liking this battle. And who is that up there with him? Who is that underneath of Gianni?
Johnny, that is
That other
Chadwick
white
Pierce
man.
the second. No, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's Joe. That's Joe Morganti. So him, Martin
Oh.
Miller, and Mike Whitaker are all right there battling for that lucky dog spot amidst the top 3 cars. So this is a pretty intense battle here at the front. You have 7 cars, 4 of them are on the lead. 4 of them are a lap down, 3 of them on the lead lap, all battling for positions. Talk about a fustercluck.
Yeah, these cars, some of these cars being a lap down and some of them being on the lead lap definitely make it a little bit more difficult to figure out who's who when you're looking at the leaderboard.
Especially considering some of these aren't driving normal paint schemes they run in either of the other 2 cars, so it makes it hard to spot them. Look at how many on the outside. We have 5 on the outside up there. Going into
What's Martin Miller back up, trying to get into the front here? He's going to go to the outside of Brandon Graham.
Oh, he's making that tight. He's making that tight. I like what Bob did there. He backed out and let them go by.
It was very classy of Bob to just kind of let that force situation happen.
Well,
right now, this is a difficult race to call because I can't put anything on these lap down drivers for running so hard because they're running for position as well.
They're running for the lucky dog, which right now with Martin Miller out front is just between Joe and Whitaker back there, a few cars back. Oh, and Llewellyn is right there on the inside of Joe.
But right now it looks like Brandon's about to put Martin back a lap down.
Yeah, honestly, if we have a wreck, you can't really put it at fault for a lap down car racing too hard. It'd be considered just a racing incident, which unfortunately by league rules would be still a normal penalty, but
it's just the thing, we have just as many lap down cars there as lead lap cars.
Which we don't get to say very often.
No, and when we're running a race with 25 cars and you have 3 lap down cars in the mix, that's different. It's a whole different can of worms when you've got it's split almost 50-50.
Yeah, and I just want to point out, Brandon Graham, because of how late he pit into that caution flag, he actually has 5 fewer laps on his fuel and tires than any of the other lead lap cars right now.
I see that. It looks like he's got only 8 laps on it since his last pit stop. Everyone else at about 16, I believe?
Yeah, everyone's sitting at about 13 to 16. Lacovara has the longest, which means he's going to be pitting probably within the next 5 laps. I think he's got about 21 laps that he can. Lap 21 is when he'll have to. Lap 21 on this stint.
How bit of a wing hole it looked like from Bob Lacovara there.
Oh my
Martin
God.
Miller, wow.
Okay, you can tell he must have been practicing that somehow because he just threaded it.
With these in a pack, you get to the middle line and it's like you're being shot out of a cannon.
And I will say, it looks like the bounding box on these cars is a lot better than the IRL5 and BW12s because you get that close in those cars and someone's going to be sent up into the stands.
I will say the last time I was in a race here, about 2 laps to go, I was making a 3-wide pass through the middle for the lead, and the bounding box caught me, and I actually did a full backflip. Looked awesome.
And Martin Miller back out there on the lead lap, but 30 seconds behind on the lead lap, but he's way back. As a matter of fact, it's showing him 27 seconds back when he was in the lead out front there. Oh, and he almost tagged the wall.
Wow, they're getting really close. There goes Johnny Antonucci going for the 2nd spot. And now Bob Lacovara going back to lap Martin Miller again.
Look at Whitaker sitting up here racing with these guys and having fun.
I believe Whitaker is still 1 lap down. I'm thinking he's sitting there waiting for Martin Miller to maybe. Oh, they touch again.
Yeah,
again.
Martin Miller up there in the NVIDIA car, Michael Whitaker in the tie-dye car, Llewellyn in the blue car, and then the white with less red back there behind Hanover Fist. Those are all that's Joe Morganti. They are all lap down cars battling for that lucky dog spot.
Martin Miller was just a ping pong ball there.
This is why I was wanting to figure out a race that I could get out on the track because they're so fun to drive. I remember racing at Dover in the preseason with these things. It was just a blast.
Wow, and Johnny Antonucci with a little bit more of a desperate move on the inside of Martin Miller loses a lot of ground. He's going to lose track position here to Joe Morganti if he's not careful. Hammer
Alright.
fist on the outside of him.
Well, we're going to start seeing some pit stops. Robert Lacavara, Nick Woods, Mike Baker, Chadwick Pierce, Martin Miller are all at 18 or more laps on their stint. And we know with all green flag laps, it would have been only 18 or 19 laps. Maybe 20 if they did really well.
But a
with the
big
caution
check
flag,
up
makes
there
it
from
21.
Martin. I wonder if he's out of gas.
He's probably sputtering. We're getting close. We'll see with the next coming laps. And look at that. Llewellyn jumps out there in the first car. There goes Martin Miller down.
Miller peels off.
Because he has the fewest laps on his stint, I'm going to go ahead and put it on Brandon Graham since we know he's going to be out the longest of all these cars. But from here on out, they can pit now, and they will for sure make it to the end. They just probably want to make sure to uncheck all the tires.
And Bob Lacavara is out of fuel.
And he's up on the outside line. He's stuck. Yeah, he's
Hopefully
stuck up
everyone
there.
communicates.
They let him down. They let him down.
We got Joe Morganti also calling his pit.
Well, he probably did that so that he can make sure he had someone to work with. He saw Bob going, so he probably, okay, I'm going to go down to make sure I have a partner.
The only thing that I would say is that I hope Bob is able to get back to him, because, I mean, in the pits right now, there's at least 30 car lengths between them.
Well, Bob was sputtering. Joe
That is
probably
true.
was not, so that's going to give Joe enough time to bring. Oh, and someone
And
spins
we
coming
got
off
an
pit road.
accident. Somebody came off the pits there and just
That
drilled
looked
the
like
wall.
Chadwick Pierce.
No, caution is out.
And it was Chadwick Pierce in the 19. Here he is. He comes off of pit road, he's accelerating slowly. Then he just hits the gas and overcorrects when it starts to lose control. And then someone sideswiped his left front tire.
Cold tires. You got to be careful on those cold tires. We're lucky, though, that he didn't come out just a couple seconds before that. He would have been right in front of the field.
I'm going to be honest, I never had the car react like that when I was running the practice. I tried my best to push the car as much coming off pit road to see what it would do. I never had it do what it did for him there. I never felt the car want to turn on me. And this actually benefits Hanover, Brandon Graham, Johnny Antucci, and Mick Woods because they're all already on the lead lap. They can go ahead and pit for the fuel, which they only have to take 1 gallon instead of the 1.9. And this is also going to benefit Robert Lacavara, Mike Baker, because they're 1 lap down, so they can just take a wave around and get back on the lead lap.
I believe this will put Martin Miller... No, Martin Miller is still 2 laps down. Just 2 laps down.
He took a pit stop, that's why.
Yep.
If he had been able to stay out just a couple more laps, he probably would have been the one to get out there. But Llewellyn's going to get the wave around, and he already has, I think. Yeah, he's already been given the lucky dog, or he should get it soon. And then that'll make it 5 cars on the lead lap, and then we're going to see a couple guys, Robert Lacavara and Mike Baker, probably stay out while everyone else pits, which I'm surprised they haven't pit, because it's not going to save them that many laps of fuel that they're thinking. Give Terry the props for staying out there and stretching as much as he can.
Yeah, Terry is on a... If my telemetry is showing correct, he's on a 23-lap run.
He's on lap 23 of the stint. He's been out there for 22 total laps.
Okay. Well, obviously there's some caution laps in there as well. He's got to be on fumes right now.
If we were green flag, he would have had to go pit 2 laps ago.
Okay.
This will probably stretch him so he can go to 26 on the stint, which still wouldn't be enough. Maybe 27 on the stint, but it's not going to be enough laps to make it to the end of the race. But he has run this car a lot more. It looks like he's actually going down pit road right there. You can see him tucking down, as are the other lead lap cars, realizing they will not be able to stretch it to the end.
We do have everybody lining up for the wave around here. You got to feel for Martin Miller, though. He's by far, just by watching him race, it seems like he's got the fastest car, just not the track position.
Yeah, he got in that wreck with Mike Whitaker, just completely messed up his day. Him and Joe Morganti haven't been able to get back out there since.
And it's tough. With one thing I found with the Pro Mazdas running them at ovals is they're kind of the late models of open wheel. They're short races, and you lose your track position, and you're usually out of it unless some type of miracle happens, unfortunately.
Well, that's why we run it similar to how we run our IRO5s and DW12s, is because that way there's a few pit stops for you to make up that ground, because you know people are going to have to pit. So that's why we have it set up the way it is. And also, for the people who want to move up into those other cars, can get a feel for how it works. But that's more details. Oh, man, I'm glad I don't do the long races. My voice is already starting to get a little scratchy. And the lights are off on the pace cars, so the wave arounds are being sent. We are about to go green. Looks like we're going to go green with 6 laps left in this race. The leader is going to be Johnny Antonucci, followed by Mick Woods on his outside, Brandon Graham and David Llewellyn in the second row, then Hanover Fist in the third row with Mike Whitaker, a lap down car on his outside. So we have 7 cars on the lead lap, but 2 of those were wave arounds, so they're going to be behind the rest of these guys.
Green flag.
Oh wow, I was not all the way up to live.
I wasn't live either.
I just heard green flag. I was like, wait, what?
Right, jumping up to the lead, we got Johnny Antonucci.
And knowing how much these cars pull up to each other, I'm going to keep it on this battle for the lead, especially since it's close.
Chadwick Pierce already in. I wonder if there was an accident back there.
Well, we see Brandon Graham to the inside of Johnny and takes the lead, going out of 4. And we hit 5 laps to go this time, and David Llewellyn is right there, and he is in third, so he's actually battling for the win as well now that he's on the lead lap.
Watch that car in 4th place, though. You got Hanover Fist just lurking back there. And the more battling these cars do, the quicker Hanover is going to just suck right up on those guys. I feel like he's going to wait till about laps to go to make his move.
Oh, 3 wide, and wow, Johnny almost came down into Brandon Graham there. I'm glad that they were able to keep him going straight, though. That was really good driving by all 3 of them. And it looked like that went Brandon Graham, Johnny Antonucci, David Llewellyn going across the start-finish line. It doesn't tell me the distance between them. They were that close. I did not have a distance between the 3 drivers.
Right now we got Antonucci out there, and it looks like Llewellyn's just nosed ahead, and we've got Brandon Graham now trying the middle. But look who's coming up there in 4th place.
And then right there, even just a little, well, no, he's still 2 seconds back with Robert Rockabar in 5th, but that's Joe Morganti and Mike Whitaker sitting back there in the 5th and 6th cars in the back of this Taylor 6-car pack.
Those are both lap down cars.
They are, yeah. They're actually the first 2 lap down cars. As in, the first 2 cars were lap down.
And over Fist going for move, along with his teammate David Llewellyn, both jump to the inside here. I don't think they're going to stay teammates much longer coming to the final lap here.
We're coming to 2
another
to go.
lap
This
around.
is 2 to go.
Yes, I know. And Hanover Fist to the bottom.
Wow. And we are going to have a 4-car battle for the win. This is really exciting. Oh, my.
This is reminding me of the Indianapolis race 2011 for the Indy Lights.
All right, man.
And
Oh, David Llewellyn.
David
is gonna
Llewellyn
take
will
it.
take the win.
I heard someone skidding going into 1 and 2, but I thought it was just someone hitting the rumble strip.
It sounds like it's Bob Lacavara that was involved in the incident.
He is slow on the backstretch. Let's take a look at what happened here. Going down the front straightaway behind Martin Miller, going down into turn 1 here. He gets really close. And then he got into the right. He ended up hitting the right rear of Martin Miller all of a sudden. He just a sudden run on him.
It looks like he just didn't expect the how quick the closing rate was going to be.
And I think it could have also been he didn't expect Martin to slow up as much as he might have there going into the corner. He might have expected him to maintain a little bit more speed.
Yeah, from my view, it looked like Martin lifted up just a little bit to kind of let the lead lap car go around him. But you can't put that on Martin either because he wasn't expecting him to jump down like that.
Well, I mean, you can't really fault anyone anyway. I mean, yeah, you technically can. If anybody would be Bob Lacavara, but it's the end of the race. Giving him the EOL actually would not do anything because he was the last car on the lead lap anyway.
Exactly.
So, in this instance, giving the penalty would do nothing for anybody. And props to David Llewellyn. He gets a much-needed win. It's not in out of the series he wanted, I'm sure, but it's definitely probably got to be a good confidence boost to get back into that checkered floor in victory lane.
I believe it's the second of the year.
And it's still a good confidence boost for the other two series where he needs everything he can get in the IR5s right now. And I don't know where he is on the GW12s off the top of my head, but I know he's right on the bubble in the IR5. Do we have Llewellyn in the speaker pulling down?
I will go up and see if he's ready.
All right.
User left your channel.
I thought I had notifications turned off. Honestly, that was shaping up to be
User
one of
has
the...
moved to your channel. User joined your channel.
Hello, David, you got a copy?
I got you.
So how fun was it racing out there? Because it looked like a hell of a lot of fun from up here.
Oh, it was a fun run. I just wish that my win counted in the series. It was a hard-fought race.
Yeah, Tyler and I were both saying it's definitely something that you probably needed to get that little bit of extra confidence for the main two series where you're right on the bubble for both.
Yeah, it was I ran out of gas on the first round of pit stops and, come out behind on into the field. And then, of course, I had that incident where I hit the outside wall, took myself out, and
Martin sending you to the moon there.
they're playing with me out here. It's kind of hard to concentrate. But and then I got the lucky dog after that, so that played in it. And I just got lucky that caution came out when it did because Terry was coming up fast.
Yeah, it was definitely exciting to watch. I mean, you got your lap back and then caught up, and then it was a four-car battle for that win there until that caution came out between you, Brandon Graham, Johnny, and Terry. And that was really impressive to see y'all going 3 wide through the corners without much of an issue.
Well, if you've got good drivers, it's easy to do. Especially in these cars. I mean, they really stick to the track good. You just got to let off of it a little bit. And I don't know what caused my incident earlier in the race where I touched the wall because I'd been running the high line all night and hadn't had any issues. But stuff happens. It was a fun win.
When you're on the outside line, if you push just a little too hard, you will push coming off the corner. I experienced it in practice. That's all it is. You just push just a little bit harder than you think you are, and it gets a little tight coming out of there.
Yeah, with this track, it just sneaks up
It was
on
a
ya.
fun run. I enjoyed it.
I'm sorry, this just distracted me. Is that a porta potty in the middle of the track on the backstretch?
In the middle of the track right now, I'm up on the guardrail.
Yeah, I'm on TV2 watching you, and that little indentation
User left your
on the backstretch, it looks like a porta potty.
It's my car.
No, not you. To the left of your car.
I see barrels.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's a porta potty. I can see it now. I had to lean forward so I could see around the light.
that's right. You're in VR. Yeah. No, but it's like back and to your left a little bit. I don't know if you'll be able to turn around in VR.
No, I see it. I'm up here on
Okay.
the wall. I can see it. Yeah, it's a porta potty.
User was moved to your channel. Joined your channel.
All right. Well, thanks for coming down here. Thanks for being in the race for us, and I'll send you back up there to hang out with everybody else.
All right, I enjoyed it. It was a fun race.
User was moved out of your channel.
And Terry Adams, you got us?
Yeah, I'm here.
The end of that race there, with about 4 or 5 laps to go, we were watching you hanging back about 6 car lengths, and we were saying you're just lurking and waiting to go in the last couple laps. And so, what your strategy was?
Yeah, I started to go the lap before the caution, and we started to go 3 wide into the tight turn, and I just thought, no, I'll let up here, and then I'll just get the slingshot down in 3 and 4. And then just as everything was going good, of course, the caution stops my progress.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's what seems to happen whenever any master plan that can win the race is developed. Um, you were my dark horse to win the race, though, and you almost proved it there. So you almost um, made me right about something for once.
Well, and I even blew it on pit strategy because I ran out and had to coast the entire almost 3/4 of a lap to get in, and I thought that was it for me. But the caution came out as I came out of the pits, and it allowed me to get caught back up, and then it was go through the field. And it helps when you built the setup. I kind of know how it should handle. I could use that air, and again, I think that's one of the things that even driving the big cars works for me. I'm not going to say like Dale Sr., I can see the air, but I understand from the way he describes it where to be to use the air. How's that?
Oh, definitely. And all night we could see you were putting your car in a spot to where you'd be just outside of the draft if you didn't want to be in it, and then half a lap later you'd be right up next to them again. So
Oh
good
yeah,
on you.
quite a few times going down in the tight corner, it'd be like, no, I'm gonna lay back here because they're slowing up and my momentum's too good. So you just got to kind of time when, if you hit it right, you could power into it quicker than make mincemeat of them by the time you got to the long turn.
Exactly. Anything to add for us?
No, I'm just letting it wind down, and so that when we can end it, we're already there.
All right, awesome. Congrats on the third, I believe, Terry.
He was fourth.
Oh, he was
Fourth.
fourth.
Yeah, second
Yeah.
was Brandon Graham. Third was Johnny Antonucci.
Oh, okay.
I had a run on Johnny, but again, there was one of those situations where I thought, no, I'm willing to step back now. I got one more. No, I don't.
We all have been there.
Yes, sir.
Good race.
Thank you, sirs.
User was moved out of your channel.
All right, are we ready to wind it down?
Yeah, so again, one last time, I know this has been a 2-hour stream. Granted, I did start it about an hour early. But for those who hadn't already heard, we will be at Bristol next Thursday at 8:50 p.m. Eastern again. Again, I'll probably go live a little bit early so you can watch the cars going around in practice. But we won't actually broadcast. Will not be live until 10 till 9 o'clock. This Sunday at 8:20 p.m. we will be in the DW12s at Iowa, just like the RO5s were at Iowa. Hopefully, we have just as exciting of a race with a little bit less of the tempers on Sunday night, because it definitely turned out to be a pretty good race, minus everyone getting an attitude. But that was short track racing. You expected it short tracks, and so it was overall a fun experience personally.
At least you had fun that night.
Hey, I finished a lap down 5 positions further back than I should have. I just took what I can get right now.
Oh yeah, we've all been there too.
Do you have anything else to add?
No, it's just cool to be in the position to be able to be on the outside and being able to see a race develop from a different standpoint.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just put all of the league sponsors up on the screen right now. I know that Tony goes through and normally talks about them. Having issues here. Give me 1 second. All right, so the main sponsor, as we mentioned, is RobertTechJobs.com. The number 21 car in our main 2 series, Bill Roberts. He was kind enough to sponsor us for the 2 series. All right, yes, Sam. And if you have any problems tech-wise in the Midwest, just contact him at RobertTechJobs.com and let him know that we sent you. You got Tyler here with his motorsport graphic design. If you have anything that you need for motorsports, is it only iRacing that you're able to do right now? You want to go ahead and give that details?
No, I do iRacing, I do go-karts, I do helmets, I do race cars, really anything that needs to be done. And it's just on the side though, so sometimes with that, my turnaround time isn't the quickest, but I will work with you and get you the most customized and personal design that you want.
Yeah, and again, for those watching, that's Motorsport Graphic Design, the big MGD there sitting in the center of the screen. Convergent Composites there, that was Bob Lacavara, the one who unfortunately caused the last caution at the end. David Llewellyn and the DHL Express, the winner of tonight's race. Hoot Baker, who ended up finishing in 5th place today. Michael Hoot Baker, thank you for everything. And then Hanover Fist, who you heard just a little bit ago, who is Terry Adams and made the setup that we used tonight. If you don't have anything else,
Oh, I am good.
then this is Forrest Sparks, and on behalf of Tyler Graff as well, and everyone else part of the IndyCar Speedway League, we will see you guys later. It'll be Sunday at 8:20 p.m. with Tony Trapasso. Y'all have a nice night.